Tuesday afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another video. Today, after many weeks of deliberation, I'm finally going to bring you my nonfiction TBR. So, I have a ton of books behind me. I counted 15. Some are memoirs, some are biographies, some have very hard-hitting subject matter. So I'm just going to deliver a brief synopsis on each book. I might explain them to the best of my ability, but without further ado, let's get started. And the first book I want to definitely read soon is Helter Skelter, The True Story of the Manson Murders by Vincent Bugliosi and Kurt Gentry. This is probably the most horrific true crime book ever written. Of course, it's about the Manson murders, so I've been dying to read this since literally October, but I just haven't had a chance to get to it because I've been in like so many other reading moods, and this will be probably very disturbing, but I definitely want to give it a try very soon. Helter Skelter. The next book I want to read after Helter Skelter is Total Fucking Godhead, the biography of Chris Cornell by Corbin Reef. Of course, this is the biography about Chris Cornell, the lead singer of Soundgarden, Audioslave, Temple of the Dog, and yeah, that's it. But recently, in 2017, he passed away by hanging himself after, yeah, this was anyway, yeah, this is basically about his life, and be a very important read, and I definitely want to get to this soon. Next book after that is two books by the same author. They are about certain shooting events. One is Columbine and Parkland by Dave Cullen. Of course, this is about the Columbine massacre that occurred on April 20th, 1999. And Parkland occurred, I might have to look that up, but I'm not sure when this occurred. But of course, these two are going to be very, very informative, and I definitely can't wait to read one of them. Columbine takes place in Colorado, and Parkland took place in Florida. So these two are definitely on my radar. Next book I want to read is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. I recently picked this up in January. It's in my book haul, so this is a memoir about Matthew McConaughey's life and how he came to be as a famous movie star and as you know him today. Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. Next book after that, a Book of the Month selection, Norco 80. The True Story of the Most Spectacular Bank Robbery in American History by Peter Houlihan. This took place in Los Angeles in 1980, and the whole subtitle tells you what it's about, so that's Norco 80 by Peter Houlihan. Captive by Catherine Oxenberg, and this is told by the mother's point of view of her daughter and the NXIVM cult. I actually read Still Learning by India Oxenberg last month, and I really enjoyed it, but this is just probably the mother's point of view, so I definitely want to read this as well. That's Captive by Catherine Oxenberg. Two books focus on the same subject, and that is the opioid crisis. Whoa. But I got Dope Sick, Dealers, Doctors, and the Drug Company That Addicted America by Beth Macy. Now, I've mentioned this quite a few times, but I haven't showed you what it actually looks like, but I've had this in my possession for a few months now, but I definitely want to get into this as soon as I can. Dope Sick by Beth Macy. Next book is Dreamland, The True Tale of America's Opiate Epidemic by Sam Quinones. This is also a recent pickup, and it also deals with like the opioid crisis. So I definitely want to read both of these books. They might have like the same subject matter, but I'll definitely give them both a try. Dreamland by Sam Quinones and Dope Sick by Beth Macy. The next book I want to read is actually a much shorter book, and this is Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. But yeah, this is a memoir about Bryan Stevenson, and he is a lawyer who helped this black inmate on the cusp of death row, and the inmate was innocent, and he was trying to like get him acquitted. Seen the movie, excellent movie, and I definitely can't wait to read the book. But yeah, that's Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson. Next book I want to read is If You Tell, A True Story of Murder, Family Secrets, and the Unbreakable Bond of Sisterhood by Greg Olson. Now, I've heard a lot about this book, and I know that it has to deal with like a house of horrors situation, so I'm definitely intrigued by this. I definitely want to get to this soon, so that's on the list. If You Tell. And we have 4 more books here. Next one is Women Who Kill, A Chilling Casebook of True Life Murders by Al Cimino. And on the cover there, it's Aileen Wuornos. So she is technically the monster killer, and I bet this would be a very, very fascinating read. So I definitely want to get to this soon as well. Women Who Kill. That's a lot of reading. But got 3 more books here. The next one is The Only Plane in the Sky, An Oral History of 9/11 by Garrett M. Graff. And this is all about the events that happened on September 11, 2001. Of course, the one day that was probably worse than Pearl Harbor, even though both days are like terrible, but we already know about 9/11, so I definitely want to learn more about that subject, so this is definitely going to be in that challenge. The Only Plane in the Sky. Next book is, believe it or not, a Stephen King. Stephen King on Writing, a Memoir of the Craft. And this is just basically like a handbook on how to write better. I'm currently taking creative writing, and I am learning a little bit more about the writing process, and this is definitely a good handbook to have if you want to be a future writer, which I'm kind of thinking about pursuing very soon. So Stephen King on Writing. A Memoir of the Craft. And the final book I have in this video is also a recent pickup. I think I picked this up in January as well. Yeah, January was a huge nonfiction book haul month for me, but anyway, it is The Violence Inside Us, A Brief History of an Ongoing American Tragedy by Chris Murphy. And in this one, this focuses on horrific, violent events in American history. So I'm sure there'll be like some like war propaganda, some domestic abuse and sexual abuse. So be a pretty hard hitting book. So I definitely want to get to this as well. And that, folks, wraps up my nonfiction TBR. So let me know if you guys have read any of these books, if you're interested in reading some of this material. Otherwise, I just got to like the second to last story in Skeleton Crew, The Ballad of the Flexible Bullet. I only have one more story called The Reach. I am expecting to finish Skeleton Crew by the weekend, so look out for my ranking of the stories in Skeleton Crew from worst to best. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to you later. Bye.